Hello, very warm welcome. Let's talk about Ricardo Rosset as we continue my bad F1 driver series. Now we do have a long list to get through, so yeah. And Ricardo Rosset's time has come. 26 starts in F1, no points. A very bad qualifier, consistently battered by Jos, Max's dad. Consistently 2 seconds off his teammate. He drove for Footwork, MasterCard Lola and Tyrrell. But you can't really count MasterCard as he only qualified and then they called it quits. So, Ricardo Rosset, born on the 27th of July 1968, is a Brazilian racing driver. He participated in 33 Formula 1 Grand Prix, but he only started 26. Making his debut at the 1996 Australian Grand Prix. He scored no points. He eventually quit Formula 1 to focus on developing a sportswear business in Brazil. The 52-year-old drove for Footwork, Lola and Tyrrell. His first entry in 1996 at Australia. His last 1998 Japan. So, his career, he drove in Formula 3, he finished 6th in the standings. Formula 3000, where he drove for Supernova Racing. Taki Inui, who we did last time, drove for them. And then he gets to Formula 1 in 1996, and he drove for Footwork. Rosset was hired by Footwork in 1996 as a teammate to Jos Verstappen, but never matched the Dutch driver's pace. He was out-qualified in every race, although the team largely stopped development. 1997, Rosset joined MasterCard Lola. He was partnered by his former F3000 teammate, Sospiri. However, the team pulled out after qualifying as the car was uncompetitive, and a breakdown in sponsorship left Rossi without a drive. Then he went to Tyrrell. Now, he wasn't the first choice. In 1988, Rosset was chosen by Craig Pollock to be Tyrrell's second driver, to the fury of Ken Tyrrell, whose choice was Jos. Yeah. And then he was famously criticised by Murray Walker at Monaco. I don't know the debates out whether Rosset is F1 quality. And then Martin Brundle replied, "It's a fairly short debate, Murray." Even Rosset's own mechanics were critical of him after he severely damaged the car during qualifying at Monaco in 1998. He received a numerous amount of warnings from the steward. His furious mechanics switched the first and last letters of his name on the paddock of his scooter to form the word tosser. Now that is harsh. Holy shit. So that his mechanics were that angry with him, they literally changed his name on his paddock scooter to Tosser. Rosset's problems include missing out on the Spanish qualifying, an injury during practice at Germany which prevented him taking part, and now his big chance to score points in Formula 1 was 1998 at Spa. If you remember, there was a 14-car pile-up, and obviously Rosset was involved in it. But imagine if he'd escaped, he probably would have scored points, because that was one of the biggest first lap accidents in F1 history. So Rosset consistently poor in qualifying. He left Formula 1, he drove in Brazilian GT3, then tried his hand at stock cars. So, we look at his career. Formula 3000 results, he finished second in the Drivers' Championship. Then he came to Formula 1, 1996. His best result was 8th place at Hungary. 1997, did qualifying, and then the team was so uncompetitive they called it quits. And then 1998, his best result was at Canada again finishing 8th. But the big standout when I look at his stats here, did not qualify, did not qualify, did not qualify, did not qualify, did not qualify. So he couldn't make the 107%. So that's why I say he is a terrible qualifier. Now, I don't think he's the worst F1 driver ever, Ricardo Rosset. I think Taki Inui claims that. His results in Brazilian stock car are very good. First, second. But what is the level of competition he's got there? So, Ricardo Rosset, the Brazilian-born racer, he's absolutely woeful in qualifying. And his best results in F1 was an 8th place at Hungary and an 8th place at Canada. But the big standout for me is he's consistently out-qualified by his teammate. And on more than one occasion, he didn't make the 107%. See, if I click on a random race here, now I've not, let's go 1998 Canada, his best result of that season. Let's see what his qualifying was. And now I've just clicked in this randomly, and look, he's qualified last. His teammate did a 20.3, Ricardo Rosset did a 21.8. So that's 1.5 seconds difference. And that is a consistent theme. And I believe Canada 1998, didn't a lot of people hit the Wall of Champions? Great Britain 1998. Let's have a look again at his qualifying. Again, he's qualified last. Where's his teammate? 27.0. And he's done a 28.6. So yeah, 1.6 off there. So it's a consistent theme. Ricardo Rosset. I mean, he drove in Formula 1 for a good 2 seasons. He had 33 entries with 26 starts. No points. But the big worry for me is this guy, Ricardo Rosset. He was absolutely terrible in qualifying. Consistently miles off his teammate in the same machinery. Yeah. We've got a couple to go. We've got Kazuki Nakajima, Julian Palmer, Ide, and yeah, I think we may have caught up. I've got the list here. Haryanto, Ide, Nakajima, Palmer. So we still got 4 more to do. Obviously, F1 will return next week. But it's a good idea because while F1 is not on, we can do bad drivers of Formula 1. I still need a name for this series. So if you do have a name, comment down below and I will happily shout you out that you gave me that name. Because at the minute, I'm just calling it Bad F1 Drivers #3. We started with Luca Badoa, who was like miles off in a Ferrari after 10 years out the sport. Carter Kayan. Then we had Taki Inui. Taki Inui is probably the worst, but Ricardo Rosset is not much better. The famous incident at Monaco where he couldn't even get it through the barrier. And Murray Walker, rest in peace to Murray Walker. He was like, the debate is out whether this guy is up for F1 standard. And Martin Brundle was like, it's a very short debate, Murray. But yeah, absolutely awful in quali. I'm actually a bit blown away how bad he was in quali. I mean, I've just brought up random results there. We looked at Canada last, miles off his teammate, and we looked at Silverstone. I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if he was strong in the races, but his best chance for me to score points, obviously he got caught up in Spa pileup, but if he'd have got through that, it probably would have been his best chance to score points because we saw the Jordans get a 1-2 that day. Only 8 7, 8 drivers finished. So yeah, he could have easily got points that day. But again, you look at the, like, again, I've just brought it up randomly. Spa 98. His teammate, a 153.2. Rosset, 54.8. Again, 1.6 off. So it's a consistent theme. And I've brought that up 3 times now. 3 different tracks. Canada, Silverstone, Spa. And every single time he's been over 1.5 seconds off his teammate in quali. Comment down below your thoughts on Ricardo Rosset. Another driver covered. I think the next one we do, I don't know who's top of my list. I think E-Day. Now, I must give a shout out also. I've got it written down here on my list. This was suggested by Iceman. Yeah. He wanted me to talk about Rosset, and we've talked about Rosset. And that was a request by Iceman, who is a loyal watcher of the channel. There we have it. Ricardo Rosset done. Adios.